What is up, guys, and welcome to another wonderful live stream. I have a feeling this is going to be like one of the best live streams in the history of live streams in forever, and I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. If you are catching us in the replay, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell because we do these live streams once a week. I've got descriptions for everybody's channels down in the description below. Today, we are going to be talking about we've got a couple different topics we're going to be talking about. First off, we want to hear your best fishing and hunting tips and tricks, the little secrets and stuff that you have out there. I will share a few of mine. Everybody here, we'll have a couple of discussions about that. We are going to have a couple of talks about the best places in the world that you can go to have these sorts of discussions. And we're going to have a little talking about fishing and hunting. And there's no better way to get that started than by saying hello to everybody on panel here. I have Mr. Grant McIntosh, Steve Ash from Haulin Ash Outdoors, and John from A&J Outdoors. John, how are you doing this week, sir?
I'm doing good considering. So if we've been paying attention, I'm doing some boat work, and the plan was to get it done by today and go fishing today with somebody who's actually in the chat right now, hooked up in Backlash, Robert. And that plan fell through because the boat repair is not done. I've got to order another part. Waiting on that. So that's kind of a bummer. But you all know, if you watch my channel, you know Joe Willis. He's kind of a fishing buddy of mine. He's got his own little boat. And right now is the time to look for crappie spawning in this area. So Saturday, me and Joe are hitting one of our little local lakes, little secret spots that I'm going to share on video, and we're going to try to catch some crappie. So that's how it's going for me so far.
And Mr. Grant McIntosh, sir, what are you up to?
How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone had a great Monday. I see Miss Jerry Toner is in the chat. Hello to you.
Is Toner, ma'am?
We've had a lot of rain. It stopped about noon today, and this afternoon is just gorgeous, almost 70, sunny. But hopefully we can get out there a couple afternoons this week. We got basketball games just ended Saturday for my son. His first soccer game's tomorrow afternoon, so get off at 3:30. First soccer games tomorrow at 4:30, so it won't be the first part of the week anyways. I'll be doing any fishing.
Dude's pulling back-to-backs, man. Give him a big pat on the back for that. That's commendable, doing sports back-to-back like that.
Yeah, it's been the COVID kind of pushed basketball back, so.
I don't look at it like that. Well, when you say that, how he's doing basketball and then right into soccer, what I hear is Bo Jackson.
There you
Oh, Kentucky Lake's in the house.
Mr. Doug Wynn, good to see you.
Crappie,
how you doing there, sir?
Hey, Doug. Glad to see you here.
Absolutely. We still got
Haulin Ash,
Yes,
tell us about your weekend, sir. How are you doing right now?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Other than going fishing yesterday on Lake Erie and not getting a single fish, embarrassing. But we gave it a try. But
I thought Pepe Le Pew got canceled.
But Saturday, went down to the corporate headquarters of Fishing Complete Incorporated / Case Plastics. And I'm going to do a little bit of a backstory to that. The weekend prior, I went down and met with Justin Randall and Pete Pappas. They're usually on the chat. They'll probably be along here a little later to do that video. I've already done 2 videos that have been uploaded. It's how they make their jigs and plastics. And then from there, I went over to Fishing Complete because they're only like 6 miles apart. One's in Westland, one's in Canton, and it's really close. So I went over and I did a video with the founders of Fishing Complete Case Plastics. And I haven't released that yet, but I will be. And then we went back down this week because the founders and Jerry Toner wanted me to become more familiar with the product that they've got out there. So I thought, yep, we'll go back down. So it happened to be that Justin and Pete were also invited to be at the headquarters of Fishing Complete. So it was nice to be all together and just had an impromptu video coming on the humble beginnings of Fishing Complete, how they started. and how Justin and Pete with Erie Advantage Custom Tackle are starting, and the similarities and how they can work together. And it's not like anybody wants to be bashing anybody. They want to, everybody wants to help each other. What I like about it is I use them both, and they're both here in Michigan. And what better way to support your local mom and pop business than to be buying from them? I mean, like I said today on Facebook, Walmart doesn't need your money. Go buy your fishing tackle from, your local mom and pops.
Could not agree more.
So with that, the video that's coming out with Fishing Complete Case Plastics, the two founders, Dennis Cullen and Tom Taylor, told about how they began the company. And it all started, and I don't know, Grant or Stanley or who needs to zoom in, but I'm going to show you how the thing started. It started with this little bait here they called the Mad Tom. And I don't know if I can get it any closer.
I'm trying to figure out how to get it zoomed in on you. I don't remember which setting it is here.
You just got to pick them.
You click on him.
Oh, is that how it is? It's all easy? There it is.
Yeah,
Sorry
there you go.
about that.
So they started out with this one. It was called the Mad Tom, and that's how it began.
In Virginia.
It's like a catfish. See the whiskers down there? Get it to quit moving.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And then from there, and I'm not certain which was first, but then they also did the Helgramite. I don't know if you guys can see that well enough.
Looks just like one.
Yep. Well, at their office, they've got these two huge bass, and they were both caught on a Helgramite. So that was their humble beginnings. And then from there, they've gone on. I mean, they've got the minnow. Incidentally, this minnow I was using.
I like that one.
I was using for walleye fishing, and I was fishing a river in Grand Rapids and hooked into a nice big trout with that. So it'll catch anything.
What color is that on that minnow? I'm curious. I apologize for interrupting. I'm curious the color on it. Is that blue pearl that they got?
Oh, you're asking a colorblind person. It's
No,
in a package. I can't tell you.
That's blue pearl, I believe. Miss Toner, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's blue pearl. I'm curious. I want confirmation because that's one of the ones I'm going to be picking up. I assume it's either that or daiquiri.
Did you guys go on Fishing Complete's website and look at all the products that they do have?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's their minnow, and they've got this zipper. Oh, by the way, I want to talk a little bit about this one too. This is like their zipper worm. Yeah. And they've got different, I know I had them all laid out here. They got one with a chartreuse tail. Mm-hmm. They've got this one, Stanley, that you might be interested in because you do offshore fishing. It's called Zipple. Jerry, you're going to have to correct me. The Zippalicious or something. It's like a 7.5-inch zipper worm.
Yeah.
13 inches.
Zipzilla.
That's it. Zipzilla. You got it. Yeah, you guys have been looking at the website. You're better at this than me. So that was, that's just, I mean, I've got oodles and oodles of stuff here that I could just show you all day long of what they have. I don't want to forget, they're also the original Owaki tool.
Uh-huh.
They're the makers and sellers of the original Owaki tool. And I don't know if you can see that it's, how do I hold this up to the camera? All these are O-rings.
Right.
And then you stick your bait in this end, and then you got the hook on there, and you simply roll the O-ring up onto the hook and onto the plastic, and that's how you fish with the original Owaki tool.
That's a short tutorial video right there, bud.
Yeah, no kidding. You need to be putting some SEO research into that and put that one out on your own. There's money to be made.
You guys gave me an idea. I'm going to do that. Jerry Toner, I know you're on the side chat. I've been asking you to do a video with me.
Yep. And
that was just right there as our inspiration. That's what we're going to do.
There you go. Perfect.
So that's what I did this weekend. And like I said, it was kind of cool that the other two guys were able to be there, and it was just like a couple hours, maybe 3 hours of just chatting. And I got a 15-minute video out of it, but just talking about, different things that they do and the passion that everybody has. So it was really cool.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to this. And Miss Toner, I really appreciate that. I found a bunch that I found a bunch also. So cool. I'm looking forward to having that conversation. I'm going to say that Zipzilla you were talking about, we had a little bit of a discussion with that thing, John. I don't know if you're aware, but they use that thing for jigging for grouper.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I was sold 100% right then and there when I heard that. Jigging for grouper sounds amazing.
Of it. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so I got a lot of stuff here that I could just keep showing, but really, I don't know if you can pull up their website. I know Grant's a guru at doing that. Pull up their website, maybe people can go from there to check out their stuff. They've got every doggone thing that you could want to fish.
Yeah,
I totally agree. And yeah, I apologize. I should have had that in the description. If you're watching this in the replay, there will be a link to case and zipper plastics in the description of this video.
I will put it in the chat in a minute.
I do want to say one more thing with that, and then I will shut up. It was really cool to see you take Justin and Pete. They've got this little mom and pop business that they make their walleye stuff out of. And the video that I did shows how they make their plastics. And they loved coming over to Fishing Complete Case Plastics because Greg Cullen is the guy that does all of the plastic injections. Those guys were talking about stuff, and they were just enjoying the camaraderie that they had of both having the same, or all of them having the same passion to make this stuff. And we got to see how they make these plastics on a press. I mean, they got this press that's hydraulic, and the mold comes together and it shoots, the plastic in it, and then it cools for a little bit and it comes apart, and then Greg pulls everything out, puts it on the drying rack. But it was fun to watch those three guys describing, oh, you use that product? Yeah, I remember when we started out with just, we bought it in a 1 gallon size, that type of thing. It was just fun to watch them. So I'll shut up. It was fun.
I want to thank you personally. You don't ever need to shut up, Steve, at all. You have given me
voice going again.
No, I got a little spinning wheel.
That sounded like for a second, but it sounded okay now. Real quick, I do want to cover one other thing too. We got I want to give a little bit of a shout out to the Fishing and Great Outdoors Discord server. They gave us a little bit of a shout out today. They are pushing to cross the 1,000 member milestone for their Discord server. I'm active on there myself. If you want to have any chat, you got any discussions for fishing and hunting, freshwater, saltwater, you name it, camping, hiking, all of that fun stuff, that's a great place to have it over there at the Fishing and the Great Outdoors Discord server. There is a link to that in the description down below. I want to thank those guys for sharing us out and for being supportive of this week's live stream. I had something else on that, but now I can't read my own handwriting. In any event, I wanted to thank those guys for sharing us out. Take just a second to do that.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, I didn't realize I had myself muted. Yeah, I shared the Facebook group. The website is fishingcompleteinc.com. So, John, you shared that.
I appreciate you doing that. Taking a look at the chat here, we've got a couple people popping in. Mr. Ben Covaruvius is a new member of our Patreon over here, sir. I want to thank you very much for that. I've been trying to put together a little thank you thing. I haven't done that yet. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to go ahead and thank you right here and now. Really appreciate you, sir, and thank you for coming and joining us today. We've got Justin's Fishing Fetish, of course, David Martin, Texas Rattlesnake, Darren's Northern Life. Dude, we got a full house tonight, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
I hate to interrupt, but I got a message from one of the people that's on the side chat here that the screen is spinning, and it's still doing that. So I'm going to get out of here and come back because usually these glitches are my fault.
No, you're good.
It should be good now. I saw it.
Yeah,
I think
it's on there, Steve. You're good.
Okay.
I've got a monitor on it here, Steve, so I can keep an eye on that. I'll let you know if we have any issues with it.
Okay.
Yep. Refresh, whoever that was. Refresh your.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll update it. It happens. It's YouTube. There's all kinds of issues.
I see
We
Pete
have all kinds
Pappas
of
is
fun.
here. Pete,
Yes.
glad you're here. Pete Pappas. We were just talking about you. I hope you got to catch a little plug for you.
Worst. Oh, they're talking about worst ideas ever in the chat down there. Mr. Kovrubius says his worst idea was going to patent a DVD rewinder. I like that idea because if you recall back in the day, you couldn't rent a VHS without having to rewind it first. Remember that?
But DVD, you don't have to rewind.
Yeah. Did he say DVD? I thought he said VHS.
Oh, I thought you said DVD.
Oh, I did, but I was thinking VHS. It was DVD.
He was making a joke.
Oh, I get it. I'm just slow. I had too much to drink while Steve was sitting there talking.
Yeah, they're saying they're still having the issues with the spinning. So I just told them to refresh, log out, and come back.
Yeah.
That's likely an issue on your end. I do have a monitor on that. If anybody else have the issue, let us know. But on my monitor, everything's good.
Yeah, here it's good too. Oh, well, let's see. There's a
Double check it all just to make sure. And also, while we're checking the technical difficulties, make sure that we're all good on that. If anybody has any fishing and hunting tips and tricks, things that you maybe don't normally share, or things that maybe some of us could kind of use, I'm kind of curious about that. I'd like to know what you have in the chat down below, because this is a topic of conversation that we're going to be having throughout the course of the video. I've got a couple. What brings me to the point on this, the reason I wanted to have a discussion about this, because John, you guys, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, I'm a big deer meat for dinner fan. Obviously, I tout myself as a total B-rate deer meat for dinner. And he did a video once that I just totally loved, where he just took his knife, and it was just like a little 2-minute video, but he took his knife and then he rolled down the window on his truck, and he sharpened it using the window on his truck. And the window can work as a perfectly good knife sharpener. I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And it made me think, like, what other tricks and tips are there out there? What are things that I don't know? What do you guys got? I'm curious. That's the one that I'm throwing at everybody. What do y'all got for me?
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Of course, I'm older than you guys. I've heard of all this stuff,
Yes, you are.
But yeah, I've heard of sharpening up a knife on a window.
Yeah, glass will sharpen up.
I do it now just to show off. Like, my knife perfectly sharp. I probably make it even more dull by sitting there and trying that, but it looks cool.
Yeah, you can dull a perfectly good knife if you don't know what you're doing. I'm testament to that.
Same here. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I could do a how-to video on that.
Right.
Speaking of sharpening things, you guys sharpen hooks, or do you just put new hooks on?
I go new hooks.
Two hooks on.
Yeah. I like sharpening hooks. I like that idea, and I think it's a really good question.
It is.
But nowadays, I go new.
Yeah, they're so inexpensive. It's just easy.
Yeah.
I've got a little hook sharpener. If I notice a hook got a little burr on it or something, I'll sharpen it up.
Oh, there we go.
I did drop the link for the Erie Advantage Custom Tackle, their Facebook group, in the chat. Here you go, check them out. They have that Haulin Ash custom color.
Yes, they do.
Hey,
I got that here.
Texas rattlesnake. What's wrong with whiting and catfish? Come on, man. Actually,
Right? I need both of those.
I will. It doesn't happen often, but on frozen menhaden, we caught some giant redfish. So it's
On
not,
menhaden, really?
but it can work. Put it that
I
way.
hate menhaden as bait.
Oh my God, redfish! The bull reds love menhaden.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
All right, what's a menhaden? This northerner don't know.
It's another bait fish. To me, it looks kind of like a shad, like you see in freshwater.
Or bumper, they'll call them that on the Atlantic.
Okay, and they're real oily, right? So they're the type of bait that gives off a really good scent. So yeah, if you got catfish in the area, they love that stuff too. So they're going to eat it up.
I tried eating menhaden, and yeah, the first time it was good. The first time I did it, it was good. I smoked them. I don't know what I did right, but I did it really good.
You get them
and
fresh?
then the second, what's that?
Did you get them fresh the first time?
Oh, I always get them fresh. Come on, man. I'm not going to the store and buying them.
Okay, all right, all right.
What kind of monster do you think I am? Yeah, we catch them up. We were using them for bait and stuff, and we caught a few, and I cooked them up, and they were really good. Like I liked them. I smoked them, did them all, whatever. But then I tried it again because I wanted to do it on video. I want to make a video of it, and it was so gross. It was so disgusting. I don't even know if I don't even think I made the video. It was so bad. I don't know what the difference was. I don't know what I did different.
You smoked them the second time too?
I did a similar real thing, but you know what? In hindsight, the ones that I got initially were, about that big. The ones that I smoked the second time were massive. They were big menhaden. That might have played into it. They might have been a little fishier or something.
Yeah. Jerry's asking if you fish for stingray. I know most people, if they're fishing for down here, if they're fishing for stingray, they're using it for bait for shark. What about you there, Stanley?
I do fish. If that's what you're asking, I don't like stingray as bait. I've tried it. It is good for sharks. But personally, if I'm using, bait, it's going to be mullet or something along those lines. If I'm using cut bait or live bait. However, if you're asking, do I fish for stingray? I love stingray. I will take stingray and eat it any day of the week. I think they're excellent. I like them.
It's one I haven't tried yet. They put up a hell of a fight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Just because of the shape of their body and the way.
Highly underrated fight.
Oh yeah.
You talk about odd things that people eat. We've done that one on the sheep's head drum here a while ago. But a guy was asking me today. He says, "Steve, have you ever tried? I'm going to call it bowfin, burbot." And I said, "Yeah. Where I used to live, we used to call it poor man's lobster." Well, I don't know if you guys have ever seen one. If you haven't, I'll find a picture. And okay, so they're kind of an ugly looking fish.
Kind of like a snakehead down.
Yes, there you go. Okay. So what he did, what we used to do, which is the same way that he YouTubed and found out, oh yeah, this is how you do it. YouTube's a wonderful thing. You cut the skin behind the head, and then you take a pair of pliers and you pull the skin off like you would do a catfish.
Yep.
But he said, man, I would take that over walleye. And I thought, well, I don't know about that, but it is good because what we would do is boil it in sugar water and then dip the pieces into butter. And we called it poor man's lobster. It was really good. But they had it fried, and he said it was very good. So that's kind of another odd fish that people, I wouldn't eat that, but it's really good.
But I've never eaten them, so yeah.
You boil it in sugar water?
We used to boil it in sugar water and then dip it in butter.
Huh.
Yep.
Would you do that recipe with anything else? Is there a texture difference or something? I'm intrigued.
No, it's just we'd fillet it and then cut the chunks, put it in boiling sugar water, let it boil a while, and then dip it in butter.
Somebody in the past must have figured out hey, that's the best way to eat this stuff. As far
Well, I'm going to say I was probably in my early mid-20s or something like that, and was down to the bar one night, and this lady came in with this great big platter heaped right up with that stuff. And I never heard of it, and man, everybody was going wild over that stuff. So I thought, well, I got to try that. So I walked over and grabbed a couple of pieces off the platter, and it was good. And from that point on, now we're not going to throw that away.
Wow. So how many times have you caught? I haven't seen a video of you eating that.
No, I haven't done it. The last one I caught was probably 10 years ago. I was up ice fishing up in the UP.
I would really like to see that.
I caught one there in Saginaw Bay. Not the time you were up there with us in All Gray, but the time before. So maybe 4 years ago. But we just threw it back. I didn't think to even try to eat it.
Yeah, I'll back.
I'm curious about trying that same thing with different fish.
I'm going to try to look real quick and find the picture while you guys are talking, and I'll send it to you. I don't know if you'll be able to put it up on the screen, but I'll send it to you guys.
I would assume if you're boiling it in sugar water, it's probably a fish with not a soft, flaky texture. You know what I mean? Kind of like for those
Like shark, maybe.
Yeah, shark is exactly what I was just gonna say. Where it's got like shark it's not chewy or hard, but you got to bite it like a piece of meat. It's not.
It holds together a little bit.
Yeah. I would think that would be a boil.
I'm real curious about that now.
Now, also pike. So I've eaten northern pike. I've caught them and eaten them up there. But anytime we ate more northern pike, grandma and mama, I'm like, oh, we got to soak it in milk for hours before you cook it. And so we just did. So Steve or anybody else who's caught pike and eaten it, do you always soak your pike in milk or flay it and throw it in the dang fryer and eat it?
Yep. Bread it and deep fry it.
And so I don't know. Everybody talks about soaking something in milk to extract whatever from it, fishy flavor, whatever.
Yeah.
The shark I had down when I was in the Keys, they actually had soaked that in milk too. But these are people from Michigan again. Soaked it in milk also before we cooked it up and ate it. And all I know is it was delicious.
I don't know if that might be one thing that I may try. If we get into a really big, you kind of draw the line on sharks. You kind of draw the line at 6 foot for what's edible. I draw the line at about 7 foot, just because, I eat weird things. But I'm kind of curious. I know that people are against this and stuff, but if I get into a 10-foot bull shark, I may harvest one, and we're going to eat it. But I may try some different things like soaking that in milk and see if that makes any kind of difference on the flavor. Because I am kind of curious. I've never messed with a shark that big. It's a bull shark, so I might offend some people. But at the same time, anybody who fishes is going to be like, who cares?
It's legal, right?
It's legal, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're going to play with that and see. And I'll try soaking some in milk because I know I've done that with other things. Like a restaurant I used to work at used that for their onion rings to make the onions a little less kind of bitter.
That'd be cool. That'd be good.
If you guys look at your messenger, I just sent a picture of what we call a burbot.
Nice.
I see my grandson Aiden is here. Hi, Aiden.
Yep, Aiden's in the house.
Aiden, Miss Williamson, good to see you guys.
Today.
That's a little different than a bowfin.
Yeah.
Not much.
People call it a bowfin, some call it a dogfish, but a burbot's the correct name. I think eel pout might be another name for them. Yeah.
I think those look more like a snakehead myself.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think of when I saw them.
You guys are making me hungry. I want to try this now. We have one down here, and I feel stupid. I should have tried this a long time ago. I got to get out back on another trip with Perry, which involves all kinds of special favors to make that happen. But they catch. Let me know in the chat if you've ever heard of this. It's a beard fish.
Beard?
John, have you ever heard of that? Like a beard fish?
Mm-mm.
It's something that you catch them in 2,000 feet of water. It's a bycatch when you're going after tilefish and swordfish, and they're big. I mean, it's a good 30-inch fish, 36-inch fish, something like that. It's shiny. They look exactly like the thing you would be targeting if you're targeting a species, but apparently they taste like stink bug. But it's one of those fish where some people say they're totally good. They're totally fine. Eat them up. We enjoy them. We love them. I feed them to my kids, have been for 20 years. But then other people are like, are you kidding me? Like my wife won't let me go, she won't let one of those things 10 feet within the house because it makes the house smell like stink bug whenever you cook them up. I don't know. I'm going to try one next time I get into one, but that we're talking about weird fish to eat. That one's high on my list right there.
Doug Wynn asked a question. He says, have you guys pulled cranks for crappie? I have an article in New Offshore Tackle newspaper about it.
Nice.
Doug pulls Pico crankbaits for crappie. and he's affiliated with Pico. So I asked the guys at Pico, hey, could we try that for walleye? So the guys at Pico were kind enough to take some suggestions on some colors, and they sent some prototypes to me. We're going to be we did take them out yesterday, but like I said, we didn't catch anything. But we're gonna try these Pico crankbaits that they sent to me as a prototype. They're the same thing as what Doug's talking about that he pulls for crappie.
Gotta say, hey, my wife Audrey, who's in the chat from up in Washington, and Kayla, my oldest daughter, who is also in the chat from up in Washington. Hey guys,
good to see you.
Yeah, I know we've caught redfish on crankbaits in the lakes here, so that's a little different than out in saltwater. But it just seems like to me a crankbait could work with any type of fish as long as you size it right to the fish. And then, like you said, when you're talking about the colors you wanted on the crankbait, I think those two things, size it for the fish and then get the right color patterns, I think you'd probably be successful for anything.
We hooked into a stingray in September. I don't have it on video. I have it on long distance video. You can't tell what's going on, but my brother hooked into a stingray. I believe it was with a crankbait. I don't even know how that happened, but I think it was a crankbait he was using for it. It was a weird lure, whatever it was. Like, you wouldn't have expected it.
Weekend Warrior, how you doing, Justin?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Justin.
How you doing, Justin? Hey, this guy, I know it's an acronym, but I love the channel name, SILTHW. I love what those letters stand for and how fitting.
This dude does. I love him. He's one of my good friends now. We got real close real quick, but he does. He does. I don't even know how to describe it. He's worked for Google and some other stuff. He's an associate of mine with TubeBuddy now, and he just a fun conversation. I had the pleasure of doing a live stream with him. We're going to be doing another one soon, and it's business, like entrepreneur business, Google, whatever. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's no BS. Just fun. You
guys got to say what it stands for. You got to say what it stands for.
Can you say what it stands for on air, Stanley?
We're 33 minutes in. You are allowed to do that. Absolutely. I will let you run with it. Go ahead.
I love it. It's called Shit I Learned the Hard Way.
Yeah. I like that he pronounced that so well.
The first word especially.
Yeah. It's so fitting.
Boil in sugar water, then toss the fillet in the trash. Dang, Pete.
Come on.
Try that.
I think Pete feels that way about anything that's not a walleye.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's like all those people that complain about hard heads. Come on now.
No, that's
I'm kidding. They're gross. They're gross.
Yeah. If you said gaff top, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. But hard head, you can't defend a hard head.
It's not terrible, but that's where you draw the line. It's not terrible.
It's not worth the effort. Put it that way.
Not good by any stretch of the imagination.
If that's all you could catch, it's doable.
Yeah. You're starving.
No, I wouldn't even put it as doable. Like, I wouldn't feed that to my family.
That bad.
And that's still on my list.
That says a lot. I've fed my family some weird stuff.
That's still on my list of catching cooks to-dos, but I don't know, man. We'll see.
I put that up there. That's probably a top 5 not good eating fish ever.
Yeah.
Jack Crevalle, hardheads.
Yeah. Man. I like good eating fish.
Freshwater green.
That's why this Saturday, I hope me and Joel find the crappie, because I really want to do a good catch and cook with some crappie. I'm looking forward to it.
I hope you do. Then we can critique how you don't clean a crappie correctly.
Oh, really? What's that? What's the focus on that?
How are you going to critique it? And if you ever watch any of my catch and cooks, they're called catch and cooks, not catch, clean, and cook, because everybody cleans a fish. You don't need video on how to clean a dang fish.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just find it funny that it doesn't matter how you do it, and you may have done it for years and it works
you're
just
right.
fine. There's always somebody, oh, you're wasting meat. I wouldn't do it that way. Well, then don't do it this way. This is how I do it. If you don't like it, find
Now,
something else.
You hit on something because of that movement, that whole don't waste the meat movement. I've seen more people go back to how we used to do stuff where we cooked the whole dang fish, just scale it. You just got, okay, that's it. You did it. Good job, Steve. I'm cooking a whole crappie. If I catch any crappie Saturday, I'm going to catch, clean, and cook a whole crappie.
Just don't do it in an air fryer.
No, it's now. I know you
Really?
hate air fryers.
Really?
But I've had
I'm
really good
nailing
fish
it with
in
the
an
air fryer.
I think it's a skill thing, but no, it won't.
maybe.
The whole fish will not go in an air fryer.
I didn't have any luck with it, Stanley. I did a batch of bluegills, and then, okay, those are terrible. We're never doing it that way again. So let's try it with walleye, and they weren't quite as bad, but still. And I'm sure that people have good luck with it, but yours truly does not. So I'm not going to waste any more fish trying.
So
You
what's
just take
the
your
bad part
phone, do
of
the
that?
settings for your fryer. No, I'm kidding. You don't do that.
Well, what you really need to do is put some of that spray oil on it.
Yeah, you got to do that.
That's the only way you're going to get it to crisp up.
I did. Yeah,
Yep.
I did. Yeah, I just didn't have any luck.
Then you just suck at air frying, sir.
Did you hit the on button?
What's
There's a
that?
button for that. What? There's a button to turn the whole thing on.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah, I think it's called power.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. All right, what's going on in the chat, folks? Are we missing anything over there?
We got Peter. What's up, man?
Hey, Peter.
Miss Toner says, Stanley, how are the remnants of the oil rig spills affecting your offshore fishing today? It's never pleasant. Whenever that happens, that does affect us for years on end. The biggest ones, like the what was it? The Event Horizon? Is that what it was called?
I think it was.
I think that was the biggest. That was the biggest, most recent one, and I think that was about 10 years ago now. I'm not going to say that everything is cleared up, but we don't see the effects of that at this point. Or at least we're ignorant to the effects of it at this point in time.
Yeah, right now, our biggest concern is the freeze kill. So
Yeah,
we're still waiting. Texas Parks and Wildlife said something about 3.5 million, fish on the Texas coast killed, but 90% of those were non-game fish, I guess is how they worded it. So
it's like pinfish and stuff, but that's what all the game fish are eating.
Yeah, that's what they eat. That's their food. So we'll see. To be determined, I think, is with that.
Maybe
I haven't got down to the coast to fish, so I don't know.
Deep Horizon, that's what it was.
Maybe the game fish will hit a lure since there's nothing else to eat.
That's what I'm saying. You got the right idea. That is exactly right. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's a good point. A bunch of hungry fish with nothing to eat. Wait a minute. I need to get down to the coast. That's a good recipe right there. I need to get down there with some of those
trying
case
that hard this
plastics.
weekend. You're right about that.
Throw some case plastics at them. See what happens.
There you go. Case
Yeah.
plastics will do it. Justin hit the nail on the head of what I was trying to say. Air fryer and fish is leather fillets, and that's what that bluegill was like.
Wow,
Man.
you overcooked it. Wow, that stinks.
Okay, John, I'll tell you what. You're gonna have to come up here and show me how to cook it then.
I will. Next time I'm up there, which hopefully it'll be later this year, you catch some walleye. I know that's going to be the first challenge. And then we'll come to your house and use your air fryer to cook them properly.
Oh, so I got to clean up the mess and not you then.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have an air fryer up there in the house in Michigan. Only got one down here in Texas. So you could package up some walleye and bring them down here to Texas with you. Pick up the brand
air fryer. I'll get in on this.
And then
Road trip.
Stanley comes up and we just do a big fish fry.
I'll pick
I'll cook,
Brianna
dude.
up on the
You can
way.
find me.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Miss Toner says probably the conditions are more affected over time by the tsunami in Japan from years ago. That opens up a big bag of worms for me. The continent of trash in the Pacific Ocean, they literally call that, do a Google search on the continent of trash. It's bad. It's going to be affecting civilization. It's something that everybody needs to be aware of, that it's a thing that exists. it happened like the whole tsunami thing with Japan just totally piles in on that. It's a triggered conversation for me talking about that whole thing, and you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, trash, especially like what you see in the continent of trash in the Pacific Ocean and the dead zone outside of Louisiana, those are bad issues. Those are things that very big problems that we all need to be aware of, honestly.
Yeah, true. Hey, Steve, Audrey says we'll be there, so we'll be there.
I'm planning on it. Sounds like a good time, Audrey. I see After 5 Outdoors is here. Good to see you, sir.
What's up, man? It sounds like he's killing it out there.
Monster Mike, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Hey,
Did you make a
that's
video
And the
all-
radiation.
I
Yep.
work with a whole bunch of folks that are involved in nuclear and radiation stuff. So that's that's a big discussion. But to be honest with you, the radiation there is the least of their worries. So, but yeah,
That's
would take
unfortunate.
hours to discuss.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. Like, I have no problems like broaching on this subject, but man, that's like you said, that is an entire hour-long conversation that could be had. Just that alone.
Yeah, easily.
Grant, that one's for you, man. Mr. Rick took the kayak to the lake last week. Anchor wasn't heavy enough, and the wind dragged him around the lake. Wow, what kind of wind do you guys have over there?
Well, it's a man-made lake that's kind of a lot of fields around it, so the wind busts across them fields and it can get pretty windy. Sounds like you need a bigger anchor there, Rick.
I would say bigger anchor. You got to lose weight. I don't know. Is he as big as me? I don't know. But yeah,
Or you could put some planer boards out the side of that kayak and go planing for crappie. You wouldn't have to have a motor, right?
yeah,
I use that kind of conditions for a troll.
Yeah.
into it if you got a good trolling motor or something.
Not effectively.
Yeah, they're planer boarding for cat.
Hey, what's up, fishing with Tuck?
Hey, Tuck, what's up, man?
Oh, we experimented. We were experimenting with that with redfish a couple weeks ago. We weren't successful, but you can do it, and we were trying it. And yeah, Mr. Tuck, appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, man. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, that's probably a little much for a kayak.
So you going back out tomorrow?
16 miles an hour, man. That is the average wind speed here.
Down the coast. Yeah.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that just ruins my day more than anything else.
Yeah. Hey, Janet, good to see you in here.
Hey, Janet.
Yeah.
Ma'am?
The wind will end your day quickly on the water.
Oh, yeah.
It just about did that for us. We got out. It was 15-mile-an-hour winds on Erie.
Oof.
And I don't like to be, 12 is kind of like my limit for my boat. But we were out there, the winds kicked up, and it wasn't expected to be that high. And then, as the winds are kicking up, I looked at the wind finder app. It's like, holy smokes, these are 15-mile-an-hour winds. And I couldn't control the boat. I mean, the wind would catch my bow, and it'd push me one way, it'd push me the other. I'd try to keep straight, but the wind would gust, and off you go one way or another. So I got to remember, 12 is if I see 12, I ain't going.
Yeah.
Too much.
You know what? You want to talk about another conversation here? The combination of this whole conversation about wind, and also shit I learned the hard way, says nothing like wheatbread fishing with the Zebco Snoopy rod and reel setup. Check this out. So this weekend we went out to the beach, and we were doing some fishing and stuff like that. And on our way out, we didn't touch the beach the entire time. On the way out, we were like, okay, we kind of want to take a look and see what the beach conditions are, see what spring break is doing for everything. It wasn't that bad, except there's some idiots out there. There always is. So we're driving down the road, and it's windy. We're talking 15, 20-mile-an-hour winds. We're driving down the road. It's crowded. There's kids running around. By kids, I mean there's like toddlers running around in the sand out here on the beach. And I get up next to this telephone pole as I'm driving down. We're driving down 15 miles an hour. Thank God I'm going 15 and not 30 like some of the spring breakers are doing. And the fishing line comes across my hood. Now I am a good 30, 40 yards from the water.
Holy crap.
30, and I'm driving down the beach. Like, I'm up by the sand dunes.
The beach is a roadway down there.
Yeah, well, I was in Port A, so it's a really wide stretch of beach. I was right next to Caldwell Pier, and it's crowded. And so I come across this fishing line, and I see it. Like, if it had been like anybody else, like there's 90% chance nobody would have even seen this fishing line. But I saw it come up the hood, and another truck next to us saw it. So we both stopped at the same time, and we came out. We're like, "What the hell is this?" And it's probably 10-pound test, 12-pound test, something like that, sitting up on our hood. So we spend about 15 minutes tracking this down, and some asshole left a fishing rod by the water 40 yards away. This is like 40 yards of beach. They left the fishing rod in the water with a kite attached to it. That kite went up across the power lines and into the dunes and got cut off. But it left that, like with the wind and everything, it left that fishing line right across the road with those toddlers and kids and people running around. If that had gotten wrapped up in somebody's car, that they would have clotheslined that kid at, possibly 20, 30 miles an hour with 12-pound test line.
It hurt.
Like, are you kidding me? I was not so. We stole the rod. Like, we ran off with the rod. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with that. I was just so mad at them for having done that, just leaving it out there.
Burn it, sacrifice it.
Exactly right. Sacrificial, like bonfire on that thing. You're absolutely right. I was so mad. I was screaming. I was looking around for that guy. I wanted to yell at him so bad.
Yeah. Tuck says there's no fish at the beach.
I didn't miss out on anything there. Then, hey, don't feel bad. We tried up in the bays and we got skunked. So you're not the only one.
Speaking of,
aren't you in like Virginia or something? We're down here in Texas.
Steve,
correct me if I'm wrong on that. That just for anybody who wasn't here earlier in the stream. Steve, how did you do?
Again?
One more time.
Terrible. Didn't catch any fish.
Yeah, there you go.
Terrible.
Yeah, okay, it is Virginia. It's a little cold here too.
No, go lay down.
Not only did I do terrible, but then the lesson learned is don't put it on Facebook that you did terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I admit, I said we stunk, and yep, you sure did. You should have went here. You should have went there. We did this. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. That's
armchair quarterback.
Thing. You come back from a weekend of like here we go to the coast. The wind will be horrible. Everything will be horrible. And we'll come back and say, hey, it was a tough weekend. And then somebody will jump in your post and post this picture of these red. Oh, we were here and did this and that and that. And it's like, okay, awesome.
Exactly. Speaking of which, so Peter went out fishing before we got there, and he managed to get himself a redfish at the jetties on spring break with all this crowd hanging around. Peter, I can expect that. Can I borrow the footage of that so that I can go ahead and do a video on that? Or I'm assuming that you filmed your redfish.
He's saying he didn't actually get it out of the water, is what I said.
Yeah, he didn't. He lost it. I'm rubbing it in a little bit. Because I didn't catch anything. He caught a redfish. He got the fish of the weekend. I got to throw it back at him.
Tell him to post a photo. We'll put it up here for him. Him holding it.
That's right. We need to work that out. Like, I want to do that. I want to do that on these live streams. Like, all these people, they're wanting to do it. They want to throw in the videos and pictures of the fish they catch.
We can do it.
I want to be able to throw those on here.
We have the technology. We can do it.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, it can be done.
You just have to get folks to somehow communicate through social media, folks to send you that prior to the live stream. Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
We'd have to have a social media segment or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I see what you're saying. The host can put pictures on, but they can't in the chat put a picture on, right?
Yeah.
And not just the host. Any one of us, if you look down there, we all got the share button. So.
Yeah, but me and buttons, if I press it, somebody's going to get mute. So I don't want to touch nothing.
We'll take care of it for you. It's okay.
He says that, and then he complains about the air fryer cooking fish. So I'm suspicious.
Oh.
Hey, Peter, what did you catch that redfish on? That's a part of the chat. That's something that we're discussing.
A hook.
A hook. Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm going to go ahead and spell it out for him because this is an interesting conversation. So he used like a 3-year-old shrimp bite.
Oh my goodness.
Do you guys have those up north? Do y'all use those on the lakes? Fish bites?
No.
They have
It's like a scented thing.
I've never.
Yeah.
It's like a crappie nibble, like a power bait.
No, it's a gum. Looks like a piece of gum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what do they call them? Like a trout magnet or something like that? They're little.
That's a lure. We're talking fish bites.
Well, then I know what you're talking about because I got them out in the barn and I've never used them. I want them, but I've never used them.
It's like these. Here, let me show everybody real quick. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm going to do this for the first time. So that's the fish bites, and what they are is this is the individual. They come in like a long string of whatever, but they'll also be like this where they're individual pieces. And it's just a scented piece of something. I don't even know. You just put that on a hook like a piece of cut bait.
They catch fish, people. I'm telling you, they catch.
They do. They really do.
I didn't want to believe it, but yeah.
Are you guys old enough to remember Uncle Josh's pork rinds that came in a small bottle?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Are you saying that because you don't remember it, or you don't want to admit that you're damn near as old as I am?
I think you're the only one old enough to remember that.
Well, they did. It looked similar to that. It was like a piece of pork rind, I guess. It was cut like I don't know, maybe like a frog, and they put it in some kind of scent, and it's set in a jar full of fluid, and then you would put it on your hook and fish with it. I'm sure you remember it, John.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Bill Dance, there it is. Yeah, so fishing with Tuck up in Virginia, he uses them for spots and croakers. That one that Peter used, I mean, like this is an old one right here. This is about 6 months old, and it's lost a little bit of its luster. The ones Peter were using were literally like a vomit brown color.
Yeah, I've seen when they get old, they turn dark brownish
and hard.
Yeah. That one there still looks usable.
And Peter, should I learn the hard way is asking, how does it taste? Why don't you tell him? Because he ate one.
Oh, my God.
And I didn't get it on video either.
Oh, my God. 2 fails.
No, I know exactly right. I think mine's bigger than his because I probably talk him into eating one of those once a weekend.
He like
Mr. Rick says he remembers the pork skin lures.
Yeah.
He must be as
just
old as
above
we are,
him,
John.
Justin said something about pig and jigs. That sounds familiar too.
Yeah.
So there are all kinds of crazy. But these ones here that he just showed you, actually whiting, reds. I've seen trout caught on them.
Pompano.
Yep. Pompano. So if you're going to the surf to fish in Texas, no matter what else you want to get for bait, you're going to get some of those and bring them with you. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Never seen them for sale around here.
No problem.
And I was talking to my father-in-law about that. He was, we use these things all the time down here. Like I've probably got 5 packs of them because they are so effective for any kind of cut bait thing. My father-in-law, Eastern Wisconsin, they don't use them up there at all. He was going to take some up there and try to sell them to the bait stand to see it, telling them like, dude, like you need to be trying this stuff. I don't know. I don't know how they would work. I know that we did well with shrimp on catfish at Lake LBJ.
There's a freshwater variation of that. It's not called Fish Bites. But it's made by the same company, and it focuses on catfish. And those work really well too. I forgot the name of them right now, but before the next live, I'll get that info and share it. And that should work if you want to go catfishing anywhere in the country. Those should work. And it's easy. I haven't messed with fishing with liver for catfish since decades. There's so many better baits now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cheap and easy one.
Liver,
chicken liver.
Yeah, cheap and messy one. It doesn't stay on the hook well. You know what I mean? If you get one.
Yeah, what do you think? A bag like that is a 15 count of pieces. You could probably cut them in half. I probably wouldn't, but that's what, like $8?
Yeah. But you can catch 5 or 6 fish on one piece that they're biting.
Yeah, they do. They last forever.
It doesn't come off of there. It has like it's almost like some kind of degradable mesh in it.
Yeah.
So when you're done fishing, you reel one of those in, it's been out there forever. It'll just be like this mesh on there and a little bit of the flavor stuff still on it. So those
And
things
if you don't take that thing off of your hook at the end of the day,
never getting it off.
good luck getting that mesh off. Once it dries onto your hook, that is so hard to get off like the next day.
Exactly.
So you're talking about chicken liver. I've never used it, but it doesn't stay on a hook very well.
No.
But it's effective, right?
Yeah.
Treble hook.
Treble
what
hook.
happened-
People use a tie. They'll tie it on with like a thread, but there's other things that work just as well that aren't as messy. Throw your cast net, catch some shad, punch baits, which stink just as bad, but are easy to use because you don't have to touch them. So there's a lot of options for catfish.
Well, I was going to suggest, like they do for steelhead up there, they put the eggs in like a spawn sack to keep them together.
Yeah.
That would work.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah.
We don't got to do that kind of stuff in saltwater, but I've heard that one before.
Now, Mr. Rick, using those worms, I've never used them, but everywhere down south, people talk about, oh, they're coming out of the whatever type of tree they get those worms off of, and it's time to go catfishing. So those are supposed to work real well. I've never tried it.
Justin, I am expecting that video on YouTube this week. Period, bar none, right there.
Yeah,
That's
there you go,
everybody sitting here talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, none of us have watched a video about it, so make that
Yeah.
video. And then let us know when you do, and we will talk about that and help you spread the word. On that note, gentlemen, my apologies. We got about 2.5 minutes before I am in need of another bottle. We're going to have to shut this whole thing down. But before we do, what is everybody doing this week? What can we expect from you guys? What do we got coming out? Grant, I know you got some crappie stuff coming up for us. Why don't we start with you, man? What you got for us?
We're going to try to get out, catch some crappie this week. I mean, we've had a lot of rain the last 3 days, so should be plenty of water. Shouldn't be any issue finding any water.
Nice.
Cool. Well, you heard from me once. I'll say it again. Today I put out that flounder cooking video. If you want to check out a cool recipe, not just for flounder, but any fish. And then hopefully Saturday, I'm fishing with my buddy Joe Willis for some crappie, and we'll see what happens. In between now and then, I got to finish this boat repair if I get the parts in time.
Nice. Mr. Ash?
I guess it's my turn. I've got 3 videos that I've got to put out yet. The first one is a continuation of Justin and Pete, Erie Advantage Custom Tackle. They made the Haulin Ash minnow, goby, and worm. So I did a special standalone video of how they made that. And then we're going to do the one with the Fishing Complete Case Plastics, the Founders. And it's going to be about an 18-minute long video of how they started. And then after that one, then it's going to be what I'm going to call Humble Beginnings. And that's where the neighbors, Erie Advantage Custom Tackle and Fishing Complete Case Plastics, we did an impromptu video of both of those companies. So that's what I've got coming out. As far as fishing, I got skunked the other day, so I gotta go try again sometime.
That just means that next time around, you're going to double down on whatever it is you get your hands on. Oh, I don't have we just finished up our whole Cozumel trip. I am working furiously. This sounds ridiculous, I know. I'm working furiously towards finishing up the end of our 3rd season of fishing content so that we can begin a 4th. I've been skunked several times myself, and that's probably going to be the beginning of that video. I hope it's not the end of that video. We will see. So this week I'm going to be doing a simple. We're going to be doing a reel repair on a pen reel that I had that got blown out on me a little while back. I'll be fixing that. Not a big deal. Gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for coming and hanging out with me today. Everybody in the chat, thank you. Had an absolute blast hanging out with everyone. It's exactly what I needed to end the day because, as you know, I need a little water cooler talk. on the end of my Monday to kind of clear my head and, work on the mental health and that whole thing. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we look forward to hearing your stories next Monday. Who has the live stream next Monday?
Steve,
Do we know?
are you up for it? Or
I still can't do them, guys. I still can't commit to them yet. So
Okay.
I'm going to pass.
I'm on call next week, but I can, as long as I don't get called in, I'll be here.
Then I tell you what, let's do this. Just to keep things very simple, everybody in the chat, I've got links to everybody's YouTube channels right here in the description down below. Subscribe to all of them, and we're going to surprise you with whoever is going to be hosting the live stream next week. It's going to be a good one. I promise you that, and we look forward to seeing you on that live stream. Thank you again for joining us. Please consider subscribing and slapping those notification bells so that you never miss an opportunity to hang out with the rest of us on our water cooler chat, and we will see you guys in the next live stream.